Hello you guys, for this video we are going to talk about maturity. So why are we talking about maturity? I mean, have you had instances where you feel like you've been treated as like a child, or that people don't respect you as much as they respect their peers? That is the maturity, because when you are more mature as a person, people treat you differently, and that's what we're going to talk about. So first I want to say that I'm not claiming that I had everything figured out. I'm just going to really share about my experiences and what I think is considered maturity with you guys, so that you have a different perspective in terms of what exactly is maturity and how do you grow it. So if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and of course the bell. The outline today is pretty simple. There's only 2 points. First one is, what exactly is maturity? And to be honest, this is actually a lot harder to define than the previous things I talked about, so we'll dig into that. And the second one is, how exactly do you become more mature? Again, this is going to be an interesting topic. So first, let's get into the definition of what exactly is maturity. And this is basically what it says: the state of being completely grown physically. So personally, I don't really think that this is a good enough definition to cover everything, because when we're talking about maturity, it's really about not just the physical aspect, but who you are as a person and how do you act, how do you carry yourself. It is a perspective. So, and plus, I'm pretty sure all of us, at least at some point, met a full-grown person that is acting very immaturely. So, the outside grown person does not mean that you are more mature as a person. So to me, this is why I feel like maturity is a little more difficult to define, because it's not really just one single thing. Because you can be mature in one particular area and then be immature in another area. There are different areas that you will need to develop to become more mature as a person overall. From a social maturity aspect, you can be very smart, a very intelligent person, but at the same time struggle to handle social anxiety. And from that vantage point, you are mature in one area, but not as mature in the other area. So there can be different areas that you need to focus on in order to help you become a more mature individual. I feel like there are 3 areas that are more critical, especially socially, and they are emotional, wisdom, and your ability to care for yourself and other people. I know that the traits that I mentioned might seem kind of odd, but I feel like these are traits that will indicate that you're mature socially as a person. Emotional maturity has to do with your ability to manage your own emotions in all different aspects of life. Let's say if you hit a particular huge failure in your life, your ability to pick yourself back up from feeling super depressed and not wanting to do anything and keep on going with your life and then remotivating yourself, that is emotional maturity. The example that we went through a little bit with feeling anxious in social situations, learning to feel through your emotions, manage your anxiety, that's also an indicator of emotional maturity. Wisdom, on the other hand, is your ability to make wise decisions. You think a lot more about the consequences of your actions. You think a lot more further ahead in terms of what kind of actions will be helpful and not helpful for you. Like, let's take for instance, when you decide that you're in a fight with someone, with one of your friends, but you decide not to pursue the fight any longer because you feel like you value these friendships at the moment. So you're not going to lash out or say anything hurtful because you value this relationship. Understanding the short-term consequences and having the wisdom to make a good decision that will not hurt you in the long run or the other person. Now, the third aspect that I want to talk about is caring for yourself and other people. Honestly, this sounds kind of weird because whenever I see this, I feel like this is a sign of maturity. Because as you are growing up, when let's say you're a baby, you can't take care of yourself. Like, you need other people to feed you. But then as you grow up to be a more adult, is that even a thing? Okay. You start to really be able to take care of yourself, to dress better, to be able to feed yourself better food, and to know how to take care of yourself in a healthy way. So this is why it's like, if you choose to, let's say, eat more fruits and vegetables rather than eating fast food, chips, and soda all the time, that's an indicator of maturity, because when people see that, they're like, you know what? This person has self-restraint, has self-control. At the same time, this person is taking care of the person's body in the long run. As you can see, I really feel like maturity has to do with perspective and self-control. And perspective is really something you polish as you experience more things, as you go through different situations and learn how to handle them. That's how you gain the different critical skills that I was talking about. And now, how exactly do we actually become more mature? How do we maintain and get these perspective and self-control? So here we have talked a little bit about vaguely the definition of maturity, but how do you get to become a more mature person? Here, the very simple thing that I would start with is, don't do things according to how you feel, but do things according to what exactly is the best decision for you. Why do we want to do this? It's because if all of us simply acted on how we feel as our main reason for motivating ourselves, then no one would get anything done. Because there are times when you have responsibilities and you don't feel like doing it, but the right thing is to get up and fulfill that responsibility because that is what's right. And at that time, how you're feeling matters, but you have to be able to do what you need to do. This is why maturity is a reflection of your ability to control yourself even in difficult situations. Now let's talk about maturity in a social aspect. This starts with ourselves. Let's take the example where when we're just approaching someone, and we all might have this tendency to really want to please people, to make sure that we're not stepping on anyone's foot, to kind of make sure that everyone around us likes us, and that we fit in and we're accepted by the community around us. Sometimes this might drive us to do things like paying for other people's food, giving people rides, spending a lot of your quality time listening to people. However, this might lead to them actually not reciprocating towards you and making your attempt to make friends and fit in completely just out the window, like nothing's working out. Here, approaching this from a more maturity standpoint, a mature person doesn't just respect other people and treat others well, but they also treat and respect themselves as a person. Because you have your own time, resources, health, like finances that you have to worry about for yourself. And you have to learn to take care of yourself and not just putting yourself out there without any form of boundaries. If people around you are showing signs that they're clearly taking advantage of you from your just very giving nature, your job is to respect yourself and protect yourself from not getting taken advantage of. Because a mature individual also respects himself or herself and not just the people around the person. But then some of you guys might be asking, then how do I make friends? If I'm not giving to people, then I'm not getting their attention and they don't want to be friends with me, then how am I supposed to approach a person if not through giving them things or doing nice things for them? My answer to that is that this is where social skills comes in. A good portion of the friendships that you form can actually be formed purely through talking and conversations. Just simply through talking and getting to know each other and understanding the interests and personality of the other person. Gifts, giving of time, resources, and being nice, these things are actually just good gestures. They're part of it, but the main ingredients is actually just talking to the other person. This is why I drill down on basic social skills so much, because it's the essential factor that you need to connect with someone else. And when you have it, you don't really need to go out of your way to constantly do things for other people, because other people have their own needs, but then they're also self-respecting people that can get things done on their own. And mutual respect for each other is the foundation for a healthier friendship. So if you're just starting out, some of the things that I would focus on is learning to be more respectful of yourself, kind of like the example that we just went through with giving and friendships. And second one is learning to take care of yourself better from a nutritional standpoint. Eat better, eat healthier things to make sure that your body is getting the proper nutrition that it needs. Because when it doesn't, it can change your mood. It can change the way that you behave, the way that it builds itself, and a lot of weird things in your body can happen if you don't have proper nutrients. So I know that there's probably a lot of grounds on maturity that I did not cover. So if you still have questions or particular examples that you have questions on, just comment and I will try to get to it as best as I can. And I also know that this is Thanksgiving weekend, and it's also Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so don't get too crazy. But I have to also have fun. And that is it. Stay strong, stay healthy, and if you find this video somewhat helpful, like the normal things, like, share, subscribe, comment, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys next time.